The Aprilia SR150 is here and we have the review. We're also taking a look at the manual option of the new upcoming A4 from Audi and the Thruxton R from Triumph is on CNB this week. It's car and bike time on NDTV. Thanks for joining us. I'm Siddharth Parthankar. We have so much packed into today's program. We'll get straight to it. First up, Aprilia, finally starting to look a little bit more serious about the Indian market. It's a brand new scooter, the SR150. Now, that's not really the kind of space that scooters operate in, so it's not just about being more powerful. It's also got some Italian design packed into it.
Aprilia is one of the many two-wheeler brands under the Piaggio umbrella and first entered India in 2012. And although Piaggio has been in India for a while now with its three-wheelers and Vespa brand scooters, Aprilia is now stepping into the scooter arena with a fiercely modern SR150. Globally, all Aprilia scooters are sold with the SR tag. That's why the SR name with 150, which is the displacement of the scooter. And yes, it is a far cry from the retro theme but good-looking Vespa models. Edgy, stylish and chic are the words that will pop into your head when you first glance at the SR150. The lines are very different to those on any regular automatic scooter on offer in India. And yes, this is no Activa. No sir, not by a long shot. The front apron is beak-like and pointy, and ends give the scooter an aggressive stance and solid street presence. Viewed in profile, the scooter has splashes of red on a matte black trim with sporty decals lettered across the body. It is offered in black and white as well, along with black and red. The rear end culminates in a pointed tail lamp topped by split grab rails and a dual-tone seat in black and red. And as far as looks are concerned, this Italian diva scores a perfect 10. This is a premium scooter and so could have definitely done with sportier looking instrumentation and also a side stand. The fit and finish on the SR150 could also have been better. Although we were told that this is a pre-production model, so we will give the benefit of doubt to Aprilia on that. The SR150 does redeem itself somewhat with a pass switch along with rear foot pegs that fold and fit flush in the body. Pretty neat. The engine on the SR150 is similar to that on the Vespa 150, churning out a peak output of 11.4 bhp and 11.5 Nm of peak torque from a 154.4cc engine. It is not the numbers alone that will do you any good though, it's how the SR150 makes use of those numbers that will put a grin on your face. The performance packs a punch and on daily commutes can show up possibly every other scooter and even a few commuter motorcycles. The 220mm disc brake up front with a 2-piston bi-burr caliper along with a 140mm drum at the rear ensures that the scooter stops on time and with minimal drama.
We have spent a beautiful day in Coimbatore riding the Aprilia SR150. It's the latest product from the Aprilia stables, and after having ridden it for a bit, we can definitely say that the performance packs a punch, the handling is decent, and show it a set of corners and it will go corner curving really well.
The SR150 gets a telescopic suspension up front and an offset monoshock at the rear along with a fat 120/70 14-inch tire at both ends. The ride is a tad too tough for our liking and continuous riding on bad roads might be a little tough on you and the scooter. The seat also gets some use to, but it's not uncomfortable on long rides.
The SR150 looks pretty sharp, Would like to know your thoughts on that scooter. Now let's talk about the new Audi A4 in its 5th generation that's all set to be debuted here in India in just a few days' time. Now Audi is playing it really interesting by bringing us the 1.4 litre petrol TSI as the first launch engine. But what I'm making a case for now is that Audi should also bring us a manual gearbox. I had the chance to drive the 6-speed manual. It's fantastic. Here's the review. Audi launched the new A4 in its 5th generation in the second half of 2015 in Europe. The car is bigger yet lighter than its predecessor, and we have already reviewed it on the Global Drive that happened a few months ago. Audi is offering the new A4 with a wide array of engine options globally, starting from the conservative 1.4 litre TSI petrol and going all the way up to a 3 litre V6. We now have confirmed news that the new A4 will get to India later this month, and it will kick off its innings with just the 1.4 TSI petrol as the sole engine option being offered at the start. Great move by Audi, and one that echoes what I feel Audi must do with the A4 brand. The last model had gained the reputation for having tremendous value, and there is no reason why a new A4 can't do the same. So I say give us that economical small petrol TSI motor, but at a subsequent stage also throw us the 6-speed manual. The strategy worked brilliantly for the Q3, and really the market is ready for a manual premium sedan too. Not just for sticker price reasons, but to give the consumers the choice of something a little more sporty. In terms of the way the car looks, it got so much stick for not looking enough like a new generation. Well, start driving it and all those doubts vanish in mere seconds, because really it's just so ample and so much bigger in its feel in terms of the kind of precision it has of handling and just a little more surety of cornering. I really like that. And the TDI engine, the 2 litre, it's just gets better, I think, with age, because Audi keeps honing it a little bit better, and it's married so beautifully to the 6-speed manual. I mean, that's the one regret that I will have, that Audi doesn't want to consider the manual gearbox for India. I think it should, because it could actually play a bit of a game like it played with the Q3 as well, which means that it could throw in a little bit of a value card onto the table. But you know what, that's not going to happen at word go, so that could be something that Audi considers sometime later in 2017. I drove the 2 litre TDI with the manual gearbox in Germany a few days ago, and here's my immediate take for you. It rocks. Now this engine almost has a nice throaty growl to it. It encourages you to push it a little bit, and I'm luckily in the right country to do that, because out on the Autobahn I got up to 3-digit speed so quickly, and then I was consistently driving along at about 180, 190. And then very comfortably up to 205 and 210 kilometers per hour. The car performs consistently, and there's not one shudder or one complaint, not even a flinch. And that's the part, I think, that is oh so satisfying. Handling and ride feel are terrific on the new A4. The 2 litre diesel is extremely smooth too, adding to the very refined feel that the car gives you. The manual gearbox is quick and has a definite and solid feel to it. The ratios are well worked out and mated perfectly to the optimal performance parameter of this motor. Now the cabin layout is not sort of revolutionary by Audi standards. Again, that's where the A4 did disappoint a little bit, but everything else in terms of the kind of equipment that you get, the interface, the quality of materials, and even some of the technology it's right up there, and it's really nice. And it's of course great to see the carryover of the digital instrument cluster, the virtual one. And it's studded with features. There's just so much you can do. Drive Select is something that now Audi has again been honing for some time, and it gets better on this car, especially at higher speeds on the Autobahn, even on like a rough surface, concrete road. Putting the car into dynamic mode instantly gives you a really nice stiff taut feel. Put it in comfort and you get a much better ride quality. I won't say a soft steering, but a more pliable steering. So on the whole, it's significantly different in the different driving modes. But then, you know what, you expect that, don't you? So it's a well-rounded, mature and well-engineered car that offers greater levels of ride and cabin comfort. The virtual cockpit and onboard gadgets add to that appeal. And so there's enough here to get me excited. I am hoping that we get the right variants on the new A4 that break the mold and revolutionize what the premium sedan could be in the context of the Indian premium car market. So with the new A4, Audi has some really interesting choices to play with, and I've already said this, I think getting that 1.4 TSI, just bringing it to our market is a fantastic move. And I actually put out a little Twitter poll to ask all of you what you thought of it, and really nice and interesting answers as well to that, because the way the polling has worked out, you can see it. Well, of course, 35% of you said you don't care, but that's not surprising. It's a premium brand car I'm talking about. However, 45% said yes, it is game-changing. I agree with that 45%, and I also hope Audi then agrees with me and brings in the manual as well. Let's take a very short break here on CNB. We come back with plenty more. Stay tuned.
Products which we are at the liberty to mention today, which is the Octavia RS. So we get it next year definitely, and the new Kodiaq, right? With the global launch, it will also come to India.
Are you a history geek, an adrenaline junkie, or a master off-roader? Send us your entries and stand a chance to get on a wild escapade across unknown terrain. That ends with an all-expenses-paid trip to the 2016 Paris Motor Show and all the shiny wheels at the Renault stand. Renault Duster India Adventures, coming soon only on NDTV Prime. Now you're wondering why the Maruti Suzuki Vitara Brezza is on the program. Well, this is one car that just keeps getting more and more popular. Over 10,000 of them sold in July. Even though prices went up right after that by 20,000 rupees, there's no stopping the Vitara Brezza. I spoke about that and plenty more with Maruti's Mr Kalsi.
We are today very well established with 150 Nexa outlets which are operational, and this also gives us a presence in 94 major cities of the country. Now, with 150 channels and 94 cities, we are covering almost 85 to 90% of the sales. And moving forward, we would be setting up another 100 by the end of this fiscal. So by that time, we'll be comfortably placed in terms of reach as well.
Not that you're selling any less right now. I mean, another 100, I don't know how you're going to handle the demand, because 9,000 plus cars sold on the Baleno just last month. So I will come to the capacity question later, but that kind of success obviously drives traffic to Nexa. For the Nexa dealers, the instant question then becomes future products, which you've already announced at the Auto Expo. How important is it to keep that channel sort of well fed with new products?
Well, already 2 models are there, and 2 more would be coming by say year end, around the festival season. So with these 4 products, I think it's a fairly rich portfolio, and these 2 products are doing well, and the other 2 models also are going to be a big success. That's what our research shows. So I think we will take care from that point of view, and moving forward, more products would follow in this channel as well.
Now, the 2 new products, of course, will be something that Nexa will deal with in terms of getting them to the consumer. The expanded network by the end of the fiscal, like you said, will anyway cater to more consumers and a few more markets. Parallelly, how do you keep the excitement going for the non-Nexa part of the network?
Post our launch
Which has
of,
its hands full, of course, with the Vitara Brezza.
yes, post our launch of Baleno, I was coming to that. We created excitement by launching, Brezza there, which is quite successful, and already I'm glad to share with you that it has achieved, market leadership in the SUV segment in the first 4 months of this fiscal year. And there would be more products coming because we have to maintain a balance between both the channels. But at the same time, we will go on positioning the products depending on kind of, customer profiles that would be, matched with the kind of models that we are introducing. So from that point of view, Nexa as well as our existing channel, there would be a very good balance that we intend to maintain. Customers to wait for such a long time. Now we are focused on the capacity enhancement. Say Baleno we started with about 8,000 numbers, and now we are going up to 12,000. Likewise Brezza we started with 8,000, already we have crossed 10,000 now. So gradually we are ramping up the capacity. Gujarat plant has a capacity of 3 lines over a period of time. So each line would be of 2.5 lakh capacity. So it all depends on the timing of starting the activities for next line and the next line, and sensing the demand, we would take appropriate decision like when to start ramping up the capacity for second line or third line.
Does that also mean that for the current fiscal as well as the fiscal that's coming, you would look at maybe tweaking your investment strategy or looking at extra investment specific to petrol?
I think this is a continuous process. Monitoring and calibrating, in which direction we have to invest in the technologies. And Suzuki has, good experience in the petrol technologies. So our comfort level would be much higher in case we have to bring in more, say petrol version engines. So we are comfortably placed on that front.
On to a long pending review. The Thruxton R is the CAFÉ racer from Triumph. The new generation is really sharp and looks very sexy.
The Triumph Thruxton R is one fine looking motorcycle. It's a CAFÉ racer with rich history and heritage. In essence, CAFÉ racers are bare bones stripped down motorcycles which were used for zipping from one cafe to the other 50 years ago. But again, that was a long time back. The Triumph Thruxton R that we have here is much more than that.
The moment you set your eyes on the Thruxton R, you get this warm feeling inside. Its classic CAFÉ racer lines and sense of design can immediately take you back to the 60s or 70s. The round LED headlamp, a beautifully sculpted tank with a strap of brushed aluminium, and a Monza-style filler cap and a high mudguard at the rear are done stylishly. Getting to the modern bits, Triumph has kitted out Thruxton R with some delicious bits such as the big piston 43mm Shauka forks up front and twin Öhlins shock absorbers, both of them fully adjustable. Next is the 310mm twin floating Brembo disc with 4-piston radial monoblock calipers at the front and a single 220mm floating disc with a 2-piston caliper. It doesn't end here. The Thruxton R also gets ride-by-wire tech and 3 riding modes to choose from, which are road, rain and sport. And then there's the standard stuff, which is the ABS and traction control that can be switched off. The IP is a twin-pod affair with analog meters for speed and RPMs and 2 small digital readouts for other information. Although readability on a bright sunny day isn't that great. It's a liter class CAFÉ racer. Yes, it does take a bit of time to wrap your head around that. There's power by the bucketful. The Thruxton R has the same 1200cc parallel twin engine as on the T120. It makes a solid 96 bhp and 112 Nm of torque. At 5000 RPM or thereabouts, there's a surge of torque that pushes the bike ahead with so much urgency that you almost have to hang on to the handlebars for dear life. The engine is a gem, period. As in with all CAFÉ racers, handling is precise and the Thruxton R doesn't shy away from corners. There's solid grip coming from the sticky Pirelli Diablo Corsa rubbers as well. The ride, well, is stiff on the bike as we got it, but for daily riding you can always set up the suspension according to your liking. The riding posture is committed and you need strong shoulders in case you want to put in long hours on the saddle.
What a motorcycle! Triumph has definitely done a great job with Thruxton R. The 1200cc engine sounds really sweet, but the way it delivers power is even better. The Thruxton R shares its engine with the T120, but that's where the similarity ends. The engine on the Thruxton R gets a low inertia crank, which means that it feels livelier and revs all the way to the red line more freely. What's also likeable is the fact that the Thruxton R has a lot of premium kit. It's a hoot to ride every single time you swing a leg over it, and it will put a smile on your face as well.
That's it on the program today. Now, in case you're wondering about the petrol Vitara Brezza, it's something that I did ask the management, and while officially they'll not tell us anything, sources in the company have told me that the car is under development already, and with it, we'll also possibly get the automatic at word go. So, lots to look forward to from Maruti, including, of course, the Ignis and the Baleno RS. On that note, I'll say goodbye. Please wear your seatbelts, please wear your helmets, and there's a brand new show coming from us that will delve into the world of Indian motorsport. A look at the Indian National Rally Championship with gladiators assemble. Quick glimpse of that as I leave you.
The stage has been set. The swords have been drawn. Get ready to witness the glory of the champions in the FMSCI Indian Rally Championship. Gladiators Assemble. Coimbatore edition, 12th August, 8:30 p.m. on NDTV Prime.